All right, well, for those of you who have been following our Utterly feed since the Houston Auto Show, you saw the SS, 1SS with the cloth interior. The cloth interior is absolutely gorgeous. I'll give you a brief recap. The cloth is a really thick texture. It's a technical feeling cloth. It has contrast stitching with epaulettes on the side with a magnetic button. It's absolutely gorgeous, like a really high quality jacket. Am I allowed to use the F word? It's fabulous.
There you
go.
Oh
yeah, it's fabulous. But this car we've actually got the car wired up, and I can actually show you the head unit here. This is what we call Global A, which is the replacement for the GM black tie head unit. One of my favorite head units. It's got the multi-pixel display here. Tell me what you think about this head unit.
Well, you know, it was very polarizing because what we tried to do was take design cues from the concept car. But when people first looked at this car, they had a lot of concerns about it. If you think about it, this goes back to the first and second generation cars. Here's your volume and on and off. Here's your tuning, which means you can drive down the road and you don't have to take your eyes off the road. You've got your regular buttons here like you had in the old radios, and then of course you use these to adjust the different, bass, treble, whatever
Sure.
you want to do.
Right,
okay?
those are the adjustments.
And
one thing that's really important to point out is that you've got integrated Bluetooth.
Absolutely.
Right, and GM has already announced that it's going to be the broadest rollout in the industry.
Right.
Every vehicle will soon
The
have
point
it.
is that anything that you want to hook into here, it all runs through your steering wheel controls. Now this car doesn't have steering wheel controls because it's a base LS car.
Right.
But the other thing is here are your your air conditioning control.
The PlayStation buttons.
Right. And the bottom line is that it's very intuitive. It'll take you 30 to 45 seconds to figure this out. Again, you'll never have to take your eyes off the road. An interesting feature, here's your four-way hazard, but this is your central locking system here.
Interesting. Polarizing, I'm sure, too.
Yes. This is definitely an Australian design cue.
Absolutely.
Up here,
because
of course, you've got your lights up in here. Just even your base car has
your base car has, and this is an automatic transmission equipped model.
By the way,
you still got tap shift on the steering wheels.
Here's
It's
the
an
other
automatic
cool part.
transmission.
Remember, it's also
Tilt
a tilt
telescope.
Yep.
On a base vehicle.
Right.
There's nothing base about this car. Even at 20,
the point is,
22.
The point is, when you think about 306 horsepower for 22,995, it's a pretty good deal. It's a very safe car. It's a very quiet car in terms of if I want to leave here and drive to the west coast or the east coast, you're going to arrive very comfortable.
That's the thing.
It's an exhilarating ride.
This is no longer just a performance story. This is a fuel efficiency story.
Absolutely.
This is a comfort story. It's a build quality and interior story, too. This is the final interior with the final graining.
With the final graining.
Okay, great. Now,
and the other thing is that's what I want to point out to people.
Please
when they
talk.
can't get into cars at some of the auto shows, it's because we want the car to get out there because people want to see the car. They're disappointed. But the last thing we do is panels like this and this.
Sure.
Think about this. All these pieces are built by different manufacturers. They've got to match in terms of the grain, the color, the gloss level, and that all has to come together. The last thing we actually do is actually apply the graining. So in the cars over here, if you open the doors, they kind of look like this, but we've actually sprayed a graining on it and made it.
But
it
this
rubs
is
right
a
off.
final interior.
This is a final interior.
And
That'll rub off.
Just so you know, because I'm not drunk on the F-body Kool-Aid, as a completely unbiased journalist, I can tell you the graining is of fairly decent quality. I think it's tough to find good graining anywhere. I mean, graining, I think, as we see it now, will go away, and I think you're seeing that in the up-level interiors in the SSs too, where this is not grained. This is now a smooth panel. You've seen it in the Chevy Volt, where that's going. It's going to different, interesting technical materials, not necessarily grain. In the 1SS interior, this right here is not plastic; it's a cloth. That's where I see things going. But
here's the other thing we have to worry
worried about graining, it's not bad.
Here's the other thing we have to worry about. This is a very steeply raised windshield.
Sure.
You have to be very careful as to what this is made out of because you don't want daytime reflection.
Absolutely.
It's interesting because in our Corvettes we spend an inordinate amount of time and money bringing the gloss level down on the eyepiece so that it doesn't reflect. And we laugh because we go to a car show and somebody's taken glossy Armor All and just smeared it all over there.
Funny.
And it looks lovely, but now you can't see out the windshield because you've got the reflection. So this is a very important operation we do to make sure that the gloss level is low so that you don't get flashback in the windshield.
Well, great. Thank you. We'll go ahead and get into 2SS interior. Stay tuned.